want to להתעסק בדברי תורה.
Amen.
So good to see you all, Baruch Hashem, and this is Parashat CHUKAT, sponsored by Partners in Torah Foundation. As you know, Partners in Torah, Baruch Hashem, it's actually now reached about 1,600 cities.
Wow.
We are in 1,600 cities in the world. It started 10 years ago. Mr. Selwyn Isako and his partners from Detroit. And now, Baruch Hashem, we do this every Tuesday, wherever we may be. So Baruch Hashem, we're back here at the JCC. וידבר אדוני אל משה ואל אהרון לאמור. The Torah says again, page 838. We see here that HaKadosh Baruch Hu spoke to Moshe and Aaron, and he put El Moshe, El Aaron, meaning God now is with them, they're equal. Moshe and Aaron, Gematria 613. They're really now teaching the people of Israel all the 613 mitzvot. Parashat CHUKAT is one of the parashot that are actually in two time zones. You know, there's a law and rule, say en mukdam u'mu'achar b'Torah. There is no late or early in the Torah. Sometimes you'll see a one verse or one story that even not happened in the same time, but it's been put in there for a reason. This is this parasha. The first portion is the red heifer, which actually belongs to the second bet of Nisan of the second year of the desert, 2,449 to the Jewish count. And then we have the passing of Miriam and Aharon. That's 39 years later, year 2,487. Okay? So we see different time zones. The red heifer is one of those mitzvot we have zero understanding. You know, there are certain mitzvot called chukot. This Parashat CHUKAT. The Orach Chaim HaKadosh says, what's chukat? Chok Torah. There are certain mitzvot we don't understand. Red heifer, for an example, is a very complex kind of process. You take a red heifer, has to be there's a machloket in the Gemara if it's 1 or 2 years. Some even say 3 years. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, my son Eliezer ben Hurkenus is right. It's 1 year. Hashem testified this in the Gemara. So one day you'll see when Mashiach comes. There was one person in the world that understood red heifer was Moshe Rabbeinu. Nobody understood that. Only Moshe. Why? Because you have to have the 50 gates of Bina. Moshe reached the 50 gates. Para Aduma is one of those mitzvot. You take a red heifer, a female, let's say a 2 year for the sake of argument, that never been put anything on it, has no other hair but red hair. Then you take it to Mount Olive, Har HaZeitim. By the way, today Mount Olive is a cemetery. In the old days, it was not. It was the holiest of place that conclude part of the temple. They will take the red heifer across. It's the east side of the mountain. If the Moriah mountain, the temple in your Jerusalem, facing the east, that's where the Mount Olive will be. And then you actually you go and slaughter it there. You burn it, and you take a tree of what we call the acacia tree, and you take also the pishtan, the ezov, which is the lowest level, and you take even a red worm, and you burn them together.
What is pishtan?
Pishtan is ezov. It's the lowest of this. Is pishtan is Lenin. Okay, Lenin. Lenin. By the way, this pishtan is what
Yarn. I think it's called yarn.
No, it's Lenin. It's Lenin. Pishtan is what Hevel and Cain. Hevel brought a lamb, keves, and Cain brought pishtan. The lowest, it's very, very low. Why the Torah has the red heifer, then it has the tallest of tree, the erez, and the lowest bush. It says, don't be like the tall tree. Be anav, be like the simplest of bushes, which is the pishtan. And remember, there's a worm at the end where we are. Doctor, we bear each other. Who eats us? The worms.
Well, what's the tallest tree, by the way?
So it's acacia. It's like the redwoods.
The redwoods.
Right?
They go
It's
back-
called Erez HaLevanon.
they go
So
back-
pishtan is
Flax,
actually
olive,
is a tree.
Yeah.
Pishtan actually is
It's a
tree.
bush. You know when you
It's a
go to the Kotel,
Yeah.
there's those bushes on top.
Ezov.
Ezov. Yes. He said, look, even when you are at the lowest level, you reach the highest of the Kotel. Nobody planted them. It's
natural.
when you go to the Kotel next time, you'll see an amazing open miracle. Many people don't pay attention. There's hundreds of birds fly.
Yeah.
None of them poop on the Kollel.
Yeah, that's right.
Never.
Yeah.
There's 100 people pray, and the birds fly over them. They never poop on the people. Never.
Wow.
Why is that?
Holy, they understand the holiness.
Chabad.
You know, King Solomon, they don't, they go somewhere else.
Could it be the trees?
You will never see it, you'll never see it. And what are they? In the stones, right? They're in the Kotel. King Solomon revealed to us a secret in chapter 2, verse 9. He says that the Kotel forever remains standing, and Hashem is looking at us from the opening between the stones. Yes, sir.
What does the Torah say about the redwood trees, the oldest surviving living thing on earth, going back to pre-dinosaur?
They're actually,
They live for thousands. The roots and their tannins prevent viruses,
Unbelievable.
weeds,
so,
poop, poop.
they actually, those trees was used for the building of the temple.
There
When
you
King
go.
Solomon built the first temple, you know
Eres.
who? Erzeh Lebanon.
Wow, so
Yes.
the tree that he's talking
Yes,
about.
yes. You know, King Solomon, who had a friend, was the king of Lebanon.
Yeah.
Hiram. Hiram was Jewish, just so you know.
He was Jew?
Yes, of course. He was from the tribe of Dan. Hiram sent 130,000 employees and thousands of trees, Arzeh Lebanon, to build.
Wow.
He actually was one of the 10 that went to the heaven alive. Gan Eden, נכנס לגן עדן בחייו, Hiram. But he was so proud in Gan Eden, he would say, I built the temple.
Oh.
Hashem kicked him out and brought Yoshua, Rabbi Yoshua Levi. Yes.
Oh my God.
So he says here, this פרה אדומה, you take it, לוקחים פרה אדומה, מי שנוגע בה טהור, ומי שלא נוגע בה טמא. It's a very crazy thing. You take this red heifer, you burn it. It's impure, the impure, and the impure are actually whoever this become the pure become impure. So it's the opposite of what it needs to do,
Yeah.
right?
Wow.
It's very interesting. It's called CHUKAT. There is like few of those mitzvot that we don't really understand at all. For an example, there's one very mean mitzvah, Shiluach Haken. You heard of Shiluach Haken?
Yeah.
Is to if you see a bird nest and you want to take the eggs to eat them, you have to hush the mother and take the eggs. It's a mitzvah, so you have long life. It's
I
very
did
cra-
it.
Huh?
I did
You
it.
did that. You took the eggs.
But the eggs fell down.
Yeah.
and
So here's the
broke.
thing. Rabbi Ovadia Yosef says in his book in Halachot, he says the real mitzvah is to catch the bird and release it. It's very hard to catch it. But if you can't, have in your mind when you walk towards the nest, say, I'm as if I caught you. Leave.
Oh, she
Now,
looks at you.
She looks at you and then you
good.
take the babies or you take the
Scary.
eggs. It's very rude, right?
Yeah.
So you know what's the essence of this mitzvah? As the Zohar Kadosh, the Kabbalah says, you are the nest, your neshama is the bird, and your eggs is the mitzvot. You're sending your neshama for a couple mitzvot. What is wrong with you?
Ay.
You have to think that the sorrow that the birds have, you should have the same sorrow. It's called CHUKAT. Then there is a mitzvah of yebum. Let's say, God forbid, I die. Chaz v'chalila, 120. Mashiach will come before. Right, Dr. Joe? I have the best doctor. Always help me with it. By the way,
I'm going to keep him alive.
whenever anybody in the group needs a doctor for something, he gives us a referral. You know, he was the manager in Scripps Hospital. Very smart, very good. Kodesh Kodashim. He helps us a lot. So, let's say I died and I have no children.
Yes.
My wife can marry my brother to have children with him.
That's nice.
It's called Yebum. Okay? This is what Tamar...
This time too or no?
Yes.
Only if he doesn't have children.
Yeah, of course. Only if he doesn't have children.
So in this time...
Now,
really?
yes.
Yeah.
And let's say he doesn't want to. Yeah, if he doesn't want it, then they do chalitza. If he doesn't want to,
כן, אבל איך זה כאילו, זה נתפס, כאילו זה
לא,
נראה לי מתאים לזמנים שלה. אז
no,
הדברים
no.
האלה.
Everything is today.
No, I understand, but
Okay.
the
I understand what you're saying.
you know what I mean?
Listen, what's the purpose of your life?
The purpose?
Yes. What's the first mitzvah in the Torah? What's the first mitzvah in the Torah? Is to have children. Pru urvu.
Pru.
That's right. By the way, pru and ru, meaning have a boy and a girl, at least two. You have to get married and have children. You have to. It's a mitzvah from the Raita. It's the first mitzvah of the Torah.
But it's a mitzvah only on men.
It's not true. On women too.
No?
Yes, of course. Who man gonna marry a man? You know, Adam,
Yeah.
Hashem did not.
women are not
Hashem created
commanded.
Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve.
But women are not mechuyavot to marry.
Of course not, because they are the.
It's only-
Women is holier
it's
than
only
men.
a commandment on men.
No, it's men and women.
Yes.
How men gonna have a baby without a woman?
Yeah, but the women have to do it because the man convinced them
By
that
the
they
way-
want to do it. They're not. They're not obliged.
Just so you know, women don't have reincarnation, only men. Women come one time to help their husband. You have a good life, brothers. They all have good.
Ah.
It says the women come one time to fix the husband, to help him, to fix it.
That's mean
Men only have reincarnation. Women don't have it.
What is
Women are partners of Hashem. To have children is a miracle. Imagine,
They can.
right? Yes, sir.
What does the Torah say about gay people?
The Torah says don't do it.
Okay, I figured
The Torah says if you're gay, chas v'chalila had to be
Yeah.
put to death.
Go to what?
Yes, put to
Yeah.
death.
Oh, really?
Correct.
According to the Torah.
The Torah.
Okay.
Listen, our Torah is very strict.
Did they say
Why?
about women?
Huh?
The woman lesbian?
If men cannot, women cannot either. It's equal.
Ah.
You know, the Torah is the most amazing document to
Interesting.
protect women. Everything is the Torah is protecting women.
But no everybody understand that. Whatever you understand.
That's why we're here explaining.
The
Right?
new age.
Our job, you know.
Yeah, but
King-
this generation is too tough to understand that.
Forget about what do you think. Let's talk about what the Torah says.
Yeah, that's.
I know what the
of
Torah
course,
says.
they
Rabot
do.
machashavot belev
Praise
ish.
B'atzad Hashem
B'atzad Hashem itakum. The Torah is mean, you know, Torah means to teach. Torah lehora'ah, right? There's no gray area in the Torah, right? You look at the Torah, it's black and white. America has a lot of gray areas. You have one law like this, that, right?
That is that.
Any lawyer will tell you, any CPA will tell you 1 + 1 is not 2. Right? So in a sense, Hashem give us instruction to have the best life. Like Roe versus Wade now, right? We have this whole story. If you look at the Torah, you know women are not allowed to be with men until they get married. So you're done. That's it. There's no case. That's it. Be holy. Kedusha. What's, Betula in Hebrew, the Torah says virgin. What's a
But-
virgin?
but-
Bat Bitola Hashem. So the daughter of Hashem. It's the holy of holy. More than the men.
Wow.
Women has the ability. Hashem, when He created women, not like men. He created men from the earth. It's called Vayitzer, with 2 yud. He gave him Yetzer Hara and Yetzer Tov, good and evil. But when He created the woman from above, He gave her extra bina. Women have extra,
Wisdom.
huh?
Wisdom.
It's above wisdom. It's intuition that men don't have.
Ah,
He will tell you, I will tell you. Whenever my wife says don't do it, and I didn't listen to her, I lost. Women knows, men don't understand. A woman sees 10 steps ahead. Women don't. Men don't. Men see now, here, maybe 1 step ahead.
This is why
Women,
they don't have to pray at 3.
exactly.
Ah.
When you say Baruch Shelo Asani Isha, why? Because women are so holy, a man wants to do more mitzvot.
Oh.
Again.
Men wants to do more mitzvot. Women that is not obligated by many mitzvot.
Ah, you already.
Yeah, because women, they're so above men, even
אבל-
אברהם אבינו, צדיק עולם, right?
אבל למה אומרים עוד פעם ברוך שורש אישה?
כי אנחנו רוצים שיהיה לנו עוד מצוות. נשים הן לא צריכות הרבה מצוות. Women are very small mitzvot. They have mitzvot of the house, mitzvot of tahara, purity, mitzvot of kosher, mitzvot how to raise the children. She is a kar habayit, akeret habayit. When we say in Haleh, she's the essence of the home. Men can never, yes sir.
You have a business relationship. I meet you. You're new.
Yeah,
I always bring my wife.
exactly.
You know why? Because they have protective instincts.
Yes,
They
they
have
will.
good-
Yes.
You can bring a
But
friend
is that
home.
okay with the Torah to bring a woman to a business thing?
When I first met him, he brought his wife. And she says to him, this is a good man, be his friend.
Ah, that's
His wife is also a doctor.
Ah, it's a
Baruch
beautiful.
Hashem. Yeah, very, very nice people. So you see, women has this
Yeah, I give
intuition
them a
men
hard
don't
time,
have, right? Why women choose somebody? She sees in this person a whole world that we don't see, right? Out of all of you, why a woman picked up you?
Oh my God.
You met 20, 30 men, right? You just meet them. You get to know them, right? All of a sudden, the woman hones on one of them. Because that's the one the most is the half of neshama that she's missing.
Wow.
When you are not married, you're half neshama.
The other part.
Exactly, because when Hashem created Adam and Eve, they worked one together,
Oh.
right? It's one neshama, and He separated them half and half. And from that point, when you marry, you become whole,
Wow.
right? Parah aduma, red heifer came to date 9 of them.
Wow.
There's one more left. When Mashiach will come, the 9th. The first one Moshe did, and Parah aduma, the red heifer, was only given after Matan Torah, not before.
They don't do babies? That's how it continue?
So Parah aduma has to be, according to Rabbi Elazar ben Hurkenus, which is Kodesh Kodashim. He says that he actually was the biggest rabbi in the history of the world. He says 1 year old. The Rabbanim says 2 years old. Okay? She has to be 2. And then you burn it, and you take the ashes, and you mix them, like we said, with the tree, and the worm, and the bush, and for that you sprinkle, and you can make everybody pure. But whoever touched it become impure. Which just makes no sense, right? But that's the beauty.
Yeah.
CHUKAT, you have to do without understanding. There is also another chukah, shatnez. You heard of shatnez?
Yeah.
What shatnez? Is
This
wool
is
and
the
linen.
Linen.
This is the 2 sacrifices of Cain and Hevel. You don't mix. By the way, Cain was not the son of Adam, just so you know.
Huh?
Cain was the son of the snake and Chava. Hevel, yes. He had a twin sister.
So the snake was Ben Adam.
Zohama. It was like a,
Sister,
it's like a person. It's not like the snakes we know today. It became thereafter like what we know today.
Wow.
So technically, Adam and Eve have 3 kids.
That's right. They actually had Hevel and 2 sisters.
To have them to
Chava had Cain and a sister with a snake. Zohama. Okay? Just so you know, that's what the Zohar says. So we see that in a sense now, this Parah aduma, we talk about shatnez. What shatnez? You're not allowed to have clothes that's mixed with linen and wool.
Yes.
Right? Clothes has to be 100% wool. Like for an example, if you wear a suit that 100% wool, but here they put linen to hold the collar, is now you throw away the suit.
Yeah, they're special
Yes.
people to
You know, in
to
LA,
take it.
in LA, no, that's it. In LA, there is few places you take your suits.
Yes.
Well, first, there is places you can buy 100%, no shatnez. It will tell you
Kosher.
kosher suits in New York, in LA, in Chicago, different one. There's a lot of Hasidim and Tzaddikim. They know where to go to buy. Oh, Israel, tons. Now you can go to Macy's. It says 100% wool.
Oh.
It doesn't mean it's 100% wool until you check it. There's a person in LA, for an example, you drop off your suits, come pick them up in 2 days, they'll check and make sure you have no shatnez. You know, the word shatnez is 2 words in Hebrew.
Sha'at
It's
nes.
a very hard word, you know.
Sha'at nes.
Sha'at, no, it's Natash Oz or Satan Az,
Oh.
right? If you mix them, that means Satan rules you. Chaz v'chalila.
How about sha'at nes?
Shatnez.
Ah.
Shatnez.
Yes.
Okay? With tet.
Ah.
By the way, Shatnez,
Sha'at nes.
Sha'atnez is one of the letters that has ktarim. You know, there is ktarim on the letters. There is, when you read the Torah, there's crowns above the letters of Sha'atnez.
Ah.
You know, the Torah has no nikud, no vowels in the Torah.
Above
Huh?
the shin, I think.
Yeah, shin, Sha'atnez is
Oh,
part
okay.
of the shin, right?
Oh,
Yes, that's right.
Interesting.
So we don't really understand, but we have to do CHUKAT, this kind of mitzvah. You have to do it blindly. This is really a test of faith, right? What do we understand? You know, Shlomo HaMelech, King Solomon, was wiser of all men, right? But he could not understand red heifer. He even said, "Rechoka mimeni," it's too far from me. Rechoka mimeni gimatria Parah aduma, 341.
Ah, interesting.
Aduma, red, in Gematria is 50. Only Moshe had 50 gates. He understood. What's Shlomo? Le Moshe. You know if you know the word. Huh?
Yeah.
Shlomo is Le Moshe. Even he says, Moshe only knew, not me.
Ah.
You know, King Solomon was so smart, he had trees of gold. He knew in Yerushalayim, the Jerusalem, the whole world started in Jerusalem. Right?
Yeah.
Mount Moriah is where the whole world started, and then when God created Adam, His head was from Mount Moriah, the entire body from all over the world. Before the flood of Noah, the world was one piece. When the flood happened, the tectonic plates, the water from below, the lava, and everything that exploded, and the water above created 7 continents. If you look at the 7 continents, they're like a puzzle, right? You go to Africa, you can match exactly the vegetarian with the other part that broke from it. If you look at it originally, the Torah says in Bereshit, Yabasha, one land, not Yabashot, and Yamim, oceans. But after the flood came, the world really exploded into 7 pieces. That's how the continent became 7.
Wow.
So here we said that, after you do that, you take, of course, and you bring it, people that touched it impure until the evening. 9 of them came until today. Moshe Rabbeinu was the first one to do it. We're on page 840. Okay?
Question here.
Yes, sir.
If Moshe understood it, why couldn't he explain it to the people?
So he explained it to the people to do it when he was alive. He did explain it. But those generations gone. Now, Moshe Rabbeinu, but just so you know, it's a great question. Until Moshe broke the tablets, the luchot, he broke them on the 17th of Tammuz. We're coming to it. Right? Today we're on the 6th of Tammuz. We're already 7 in the evening. 10 days from now,
There is fast in this thing?
Huh?
No fast.
some people do. It's not a fast, but it's Yemei Ben Hametzarim, those very, very auspicious, dangerous day. Between the 17th of Tammuz to Tisha B'Av is a very dangerous time, right? Moshe Rabbeinu, until he broke the tablets, right? The luchot, nobody needed to ever hear anything twice. Whatever Moshe said, remember. When he broke the luchot, forgetfulness came to the world. Shechecha yarda la'olam. You have to study again and again and again. King Solomon says if you want to remember anything, you have to study it 101 times.
Wow.
I teach Torah every day, but I have to go back to my book to remember what I taught last year. Even though I've been doing this for 11 years, 17 years.
Wow. But you have memory.
So it says here, we're on page 840. Kol hanogea bamet, if you touch a dead person. We're on verse, Be'ezat Hashem, here we go. So verse 13, okay? כל הנוגע במת בנפש האדם אשר ימות ולא יתחטא את משכן אדוני טימא ונכרתה הנפש ההיא מישראל. There is called impurity. By the way, if you, let's say, God forbid, I died here, and you came through the door, you're automatically impure. If it's in a house or a tent, or a hall or a store. But it's only when it comes to Jews. You cannot be impure from non-Jews. No, you can go to a non-Jew funeral, no problem. You can go, non-Jews cannot make you impure. Only Jews.
Wow. And what is the reason?
Adam. We came from Adam. Adam is one neshama that all the Jews have. Okay? Right? You says, like for an example, there's a term that says enosh. Right? Mean anashim, many people.
Yeah, enosh.
Gever, gvarim. How are you? Come have piece of cake. Don't worry, I have a gun too. Come, have a.
We close at 9.
Huh?
We close at 9.
Yes, I know, but I asked for a special thing from the management. We'll be here at 9:30. We'll finish.
Betsy?
Huh?
From Betsy?
Not from Shannon.
Is she okay?
Yes, you okay?
So what time are you guys?
9:30.
Okay.
Really, come have a cake, please.
No, thank you.
Please, it's free today.
It's all right.
All right. So, anashim, enosh, gever, gvarim, isha, nashim, Adam, no Adamim.
Adamot.
Adam, no, only Adam.
Okay,
And
Adam.
single. We all came from the Adam.
Yeah,
The Jews have a neshama from Adam.
one Adam.
Just so you know. When Adam sinned, the original Adam was not flesh and body. It was light. It was the size of 1,000 almost feet.
Oh, yeah.
It was light, all light. When we go, give me your phone for a second. You have a flashlight on your phone? Turn it on. When we do Havdalah, right? What do we do in the Havdalah?
Oh, with the nails today.
We put our nails against the light, right?
Yes.
We go like this, and we see it through.
Right.
Adam used to be all tziporen, all light. That was his thing. And he used to light up. He used to take 7 steps and reach the whole world.
Wow.
Here, where's the light? How do you turn the light on?
Even after he ate the
Watch this.
apple?
You see this?
Yeah.
You see, you can see the light through.
Wow,
What did
yeah,
you light?
yeah.
7 what?
It could take 7 steps and be
Oh,
all over the
7.
world. Adam Arishon, just so you know,
Wow.
before the sin, he was not a body. Only after, the Torah says, "Vaya'as lo kuton et or." Hashem gave him skin.
Wow.
רגע שהוא חטא בעצם?
Okay.
Boy, was my
Right?
question. Nick, you want to ask?
Yes, sir.
You see that? You know how important that, what you just showed?
Yeah.
I introduced the concept, it's called an oximeter in every major hospital, and you can buy them for $50. And the light
For
goes
the
through,
oxygen.
and the light goes through your finger, and it measures the oxygen.
Yeah.
It's the most important thing
By
you
the way,
can
he
have.
created many.
It's the most important thing you can have with COVID.
Yeah.
Because if your O2 sats drop below 90, like with President Trump,
Wait, I have to show you so people know who you are.
they don't.
Come on, Dr. Joe, you can speak.
Wow.
Dr. Joe, by the way, he was the #1 doctor manager of scripts for all the pain management. Anybody that had any pain management from all over the world come to see him. He's a special.
Oh, so you internal.
Yeah. Now, no.
Anesthesiologist.
Yeah.
Anyhow, you all should get, because it goes back to the Torah,
Yeah.
you all should buy an oximeter. It's like having your own EKG.
You only get 50% of the price. No, okay. But anyway.
No, the oximeters in the hospital cost thousands of dollars.
No, he's right. So he
Wow.
developed this.
Anytime you have a surgery today or you have anything, you get that
Wow.
because it measures the ability of your heart and lungs to get oxygen to your fingers. So the Torah knew all this,
Yes.
right?
So you
Why do-
actually invented
No, I introduced
He
it.
introduced it. He actually put it in the hospital. He does also anesthesia. He was the
It'd be nice
#1
to have
anesthesia
the-
doctor.
What's
He
that?
puts everybody to sleep very
No,
fast.
I haven't done anesthesia in years.
In years. But I want you to know you have a.
the symbol. I could buy the stock and make a lot of money.
What's what?
Actually,
What's the ticker? Give her a good ticker. No, give her.
There is no tick. It's the, if you did it about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yes, now it's too
All right. So let's
Actually,
continue.
but
Bez.
anyhow.
By the way,
Yes,
why
okay.
do we do Havdalah? Well, we put the light.
להבדיל בין קודש
So you know,
לחול.
when Adam was thrown out of heaven, it was dark for him. He couldn't see light anymore. The first light, he made fire, and did Havdalah hamavdil
בין
ben
קודש לחול.
kodesh lechor.
Ah,
That's why we light, the light for Adam. Right? Chava brought darkness to the world. That's why she lights candles every Shabbat. Women has to light candle to bring back the light, right? To bring back the holiness. Adam has to do the Havdalah. Why we do Kiddush? The tree of knowledge was wine. They got drunk before Shabbat. Hashem says, here's the tree of life. There was 8,000 trees in Gan Eden. As again, every tree has fruit. Like for example, you take eucalyptus today. They used to have a fruit. Every tree. There was no Raya et Sarak.
wow.
There was no trees without fruit. Everything had fruits. Hashem says, here's tree of life. You can eat from it. You're not going to die. It's okay. You're going to live forever. But don't touch the one tree. Et Shaddai.
Oh, yeah.
What did you know why Adam sinned? Hashem says to Adam, not to Chava, don't eat from the tree. Adam wanted to put, as we call, fence. So he lied to Chava. He says, God says, don't touch the tree.
Oh.
Came the snake and pushed her, and nothing happened. So the snake says, look, your husband is lying.
Oh, wow.
The Gemara says, his name is Chavia. The snake named Chavia, and you Chava. We should be together. Look, Adam lied to you. Nothing happened to you.
So the snake was like a human being.
Yes. It was like Arafat, you know. Yes, looks like a snake. A person that looks like a snake.
And what about other animals, like the Taninim Agdolim?
That's dinosaurs.
Right, but they were existing in Gan
So they existed until Noah. You know, when God brought the Mabul, the flood, right? Just so you know, dinosaurs, the most they exist, 5,782 years. That's it, the most. When Noah floods happened, they were all drained into the world because the lava that broke the world, Hashem then moved a Kochav Kima. You know, there's a car named Subaru, right? You know the logo of Subaru?
Subaru, the car, yeah.
Yes, there is 6 stars. There is 5 and 1 aside. It's called Kochav Kima. This is Subaru is in the Gemara. Hashem removed 1 star that controlled the water, and the water went back. Now, and I give you some a test that we did. Let's say you take 100 scientists and you give them a piece of bone that became a stone, right? Meuban,
כן.
fossil. He said, tell me, how old is bone? You're all scientists, 100 of them. Each one will give you a different date. So this one, 1 million, 10 million, right? Let's say even 50 agree. It's all estimate. It's not really knowledge. It's just guesstimation, it's called in English, right, doctor?
It's like when you go to 5 doctors, you're going to get 5 different opinions.
20. But you get a lot of bills.
Yeah.
That's a
for
difference.
sure.
You know, medicine today does not cure. It just holds you alive.
Sure.
You make more money sick than healthy to the insurance companies and to the hospital. So they keep you alive.
Fixing.
They fix you a little bit, right? Nothing cures anymore.
Yeah.
You know, in the old days, there was no doctors. You had any problem, you went to the Kohen Gadol. The Kohen will cure you. He'll tell you what you need to do and you cure.
Wow.
There's no doctors,
No, you're
right?
Most is just.
So now, let's say I gave you 100 bones, right?
Okay.
And you have one answer, you have one. Everybody has different answer, right?
Yeah.
Automatically, that means 99 of you are wrong. There's only one truth. Common sense. That means
Yes.
99 are wrong. How many truth do we have? Emet achat is one truth, right? So let's say you said 5 million, 10,000. I said 5,000. Everybody has different answer. After you all this, I said, listen, you know the bone I just gave you? You know, a year and a half ago, there was a volcano in Hawaii. There's a cow that actually died in the volcano. And the moment it cooled off, this is the bone. It's a year and a half old. Do you understand?
Yes.
It's true. They did it in Duke University.
Ah, interesting.
Okay?
By the way, what lived before dinosaurs that's still around?
So now you have all the
Trees,
animals.
trees.
Trees, animals, everything, of course. You know, the Noah's Ark is a miracle. It's not what do you think. Hashem made a miracle that all the animals went to it by pairs. Noah, Chas Hashem, how would I know which pair to take? There's 10,000 lions.
Yes, good question.
Right? Which one should I take? Hashem says, the couple that never sin will be seated down. They'll relax. Everybody else will be standing. This is the couple will come to you. You don't have to call them. You have the male and female lion and lioness.
Wow.
You have the male snake and the female snake. You have the rabbit. You have everything we'll have. They'll be seated down. There's one kinds of animals you have to go get Noah. There is 10 kinds of kosher animals. You have to bring 7 sets. That means 140 of them you have to bring. Cows, goats,
Wow.
jamus, how you call that? Bison, elk,
Goat.
deers, goats. You know, if you put kosher animals together, what do you call it in English? Petting zoo. They all get together. Petting zoo. Yeah,
What about elephants?
you put non-kosher is a safari, right?
What about the real king of the jungle?
Hashem. You know,
king is
the lion was getting married.
The lion's not the king, by
One
the
second.
way.
The lion was getting married. Who was the king of
The
the
female elephant.
female elephant? Is right. Actually,
Oh.
you know who's the king of the animal?
Who?
Is the hippo. Everybody's afraid of the hippo.
Why the
Hippo,
female
everybody's
and
afraid.
not the male?
Well, the hippo.
No, but let me tell you a
number
story.
One killer of tourists is hippos on land.
Yes, hippo is actually kill
But
man,
you go
kills
to a
anybody.
water, you go to a water hole.
Ah.
with
But he can
female-
chase you on the land.
I
You know,
got
they
a-
go
I
up
had
to
a-
I think 35 miles an
I have a
hour.
friend who got chased. He took a flash and it came after him.
Yeah, of
He
course.
almost got killed.
So one
But
time
when
a
you go
lion
to
was
a
getting
water
married.
hole, one animal, when that animal comes or charges, everybody leaves, including the hippos. It's the female elephant.
Yeah. You know, a
But
lion
the
was getting
elephant-
married.
The woman elephant,
Huh?
she's the queen.
The king.
She's the queen. She's the queen. But yeah, she's like the king of
King of the
the.
jungle. The lion
Yes.
is not the king.
Yes.
Oh, and not the elephant, the
female,
man.
no, the male is chicken.
All right. You know, one time a lion was getting married.
Yeah.
So a mouse came to him and goes, "Brother, mazel tov."
Yeah.
The lion says, "I'm your brother?
Okay.
You're a rat, a little mouse, you know, mice. I'm a king of the." He says,
נדרוס אותך.
"That's how I felt before I got married."
אתה יודע את זה, שמעתי את זה.
Huh?
Oh, that was good.
You know, the lions, the male, don't hunt. Only the female. They will steal somebody's hunt, but they don't hunt. They just roar. Im aryeh yishag, mi lo yira. What's aryeh in Hebrew? Yira. Aryeh.
Pachad.
Pachad. When
Yeah.
a lion roar, we
Wow.
have fear.
Scary.
All the animals, he can roar, he can hear them for like 20 miles.
Wow.
Right? Aryeh Zir'ah.
You know, you can take your kids up to the safari park and spend the night there.
Come downtown LA, it's worse.
No, but it's
Yeah.
called Snore and Roar. It's the
Yes,
they
yes, you
have
can sleep there.
3 lines.
That's right.
And it's all night.
That's right. That's right.
Anyhow,
So let's continue.
let's
Interesting.
continue, yes.
So you know Abraham Avinu says Anochi Afar Va'efer. What time is it?
9:15.
Okay. Anochi Afar
We're never
Va'efer.
gonna get to
9:30. We'll get to Miriam. We'll get to everybody. We'll do a little. We'll finish with
17
Paraduman.
minutes.
okay.
Abraham Avinu says Anochi Afar Va'efer. I'm nothing but ash and dirt of the earth.
Wow.
Why? When Akadosh Baruch Hu came to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, by the way, that was gay stuff. Sodom and Gomorrah,
Was that their?
yes, that was the main thing. Sodom and Gomorrah was the worst ever. With the 5 cities, really, there was 5 cities, but Sodom and originally Sodom, you know, when Abraham and Lot and Sarai came back from Egypt with Hagar, we know there was a war between the shepherd of Abraham and the shepherd of Lot over land. So Abraham says, listen, what do we need to fight? You go right, I'll go left, you go left, I'll go right. You know, Lot chose Sodom. He says, I will go here. Just so you know, Sodom, before Sodom and Gomorrah, it was the richest place on earth. You wanted to take out a carrot, diamonds comes with it.
Oh my
Gold, it was the
God.
most amazing, the Gemara says that's why he chose it. It was in the book of Bereshit. It says that Sodom was the edge of Gan Eden. It was the edge of heaven. Sodom, Lot understood that. He took it, but the people of Sodom became so bad that Hashem turned it.
Wow.
Right? He turned it so bad. What you know? When they came, the angel came to visit Lot and destroy the city. What the people wanted to do? Say, let us be with them, gay. And Lot says, take my daughters.
Oh wow.
Who does that? Huh? A Jewish man will kill before anybody touches his daughters, right?
Yes.
He would
yes.
kill himself, fight
Like
for them.
Dina, like Dina.
That's right.
Yan, yun
Is that where
So-
the term came from?
Bukad ba
Yeah.
kang pag-ilan?
Wow.
You know, the trait of the Arabs come from 2 people. Hagar,
Smile.
right? Who is Hagar? You know, she's Egyptian. She's
princess.
the daughter of princess. She's the daughter of Pharaoh. Pharaoh says, I'd rather you be a servant to Sarai and Abraham than be a queen here. Her father understood that. And when she had a son, Ishmael, she threw him to die. She
Yeah.
put him, the Torah says, she put him almost 50 yards away and watched him to die. Who does that? A Jewish mother will die for her kids. That's the trait, right? The Arabs send their kids to blow themselves.
Yeah.
Right?
That's it.
Lot, they say, here, take my daughters.
Wow.
This is where everything starts, just so you know.
Wow.
The
Interesting.
Torah says Ishmael ask for a blessing. Hashem says Pere Adam. Ishmael will be Pere Adam. Yado bakol v'yad kolbo. He'll be a wild beast of a man, not really a man. That's why you see, for an example, you look at Israel. 2 Arabs come with, axes, start killing people. Who does that?
It does. It does.
Right? I mean, who
Animals.
does that? Or put a bomb on you as a kid and go blow yourself, or as a mother, a doctor. It doesn't matter, no matter how educated you are. Right?
Yep.
We see like the 19 hijackers, 17 of them has master's degrees and everything.
Oh.
So why do you study all your life? For what? Pere Adam, the Torah says.
Animals.
Now we'll continue. Huh?
Animals.
They don't. Animals kill to eat. They never kill just to kill. They hunt to eat. Animal will never kill just to kill. No such
Yes,
thing.
Yes.
No such thing.
Wow.
No such thing. I'm going to continue because we have 12 minutes left. You know, Miriam, it says here, we are on page 846. So we know that it says, Vayisu mikadesh vayovu b'nei Kolel al hor ha'ar. And you know, oh, I'm sorry. Let's go one before. I'm sorry. Sorry. 1 second.
Stop.
We are at 840. I'm sorry. 1 second. Okay. 842. Sorry. 842, yes. Bnei Israel came to Kol Ha'edah Mitbartzin b'chodesh harishon, meaning in the month of Nisan. The first month in the Torah is the month of Nisan, right? By the way, Nisan is the only kosher car you can buy. It's in the Torah. Nisan. So it says that the people of Israel came when in the first of Nisan. This is again 39 years later, 2,487. Okay? They will go into the land of Israel at 204.88. 40 years from Yetziat Mitzrayim. 40 years from leaving Egypt. After 40 years in the desert, that's the punishment they had. By the way, the punishment was 3 years retroactive. Okay, the punishment of the spies happened on the second year, but they start to get punished on the third year. But there already been 3 years. This is what we call when you behave in jail, they give you less years. All right, that's where it came from. Just so you know. So now Miriam passes away. The Torah says, "Vatamat sham Miriam, vatekaver sham." The Torah says that Miriam died there, and she was buried there. And then, by the way, Miriam died on the 10th of Nisan. Okay, Aharon died on the Aleph Be'av, and Moshe will die on the 7th of Adar. All of them, the three biggest tzaddikim of the world, died in the last year in the desert. All of them. They were, Miriam was the first daughter, then Aharon, after when she was 3, and then Moshe was born when she was 6. Right? She became a prophet when she was 3 years old. Just so you know. And because of she stood in the water to watch Moshe's ark, Hashem gave, because of her, water for 40 years in the desert. They had a big giant rock that was rolling with them, the rolling stone. The band come from the stone of the stone of Miriam. Yeah. Rolling stone. The Torah said that זה הסלע המתגלגלת. This stone followed them, and from it will bring water to all the tribe. Imagine 3.6 million people in the desert have water that can taste whatever you want. You want water to taste like beer, tea, scotch, whatever you want. Anything, you just think about it, the water tastes like this. That's Miriam. By the way, the Gemara says that each head of tribe would take his staff and go to the rock and pull a line to his tribe, and the tribe would have rivers around it. There were 12 tribes, right? They were walking in an order 3-3-3, north, east, west, and south, which is by the way, Nuz. That's the acronym. That's where the Nuz comes. North, east, west, south, Nuz. There were 3-3-3. The Kohanim in the middle and the Levites around them. They were walking like this, and rivers among all the 12 tribes. And the river, people wanted to drink, whatever they wanted to do a shower, a mikveh, the clouds of glory would cover them. Who brought the clouds of glories? Aharon. Yes. And who brought the man? Moshe. Man was food of angels. Man ma'aseh nisim. We'll see that the people of Israel complaining about it. They said, what's going on with this? We've been eating it for 40 years. Nobody goes to the bathroom. There was no psolet in it. Man is food of angels. Nothing bad in it. You can eat it any flavor you want. You want lobster? I'm kidding. You want steak? Kosher steak? Right? It would taste like, you want whatever, chicken, whatever you wanted. You thought about it, it tastes. So Miriam dies. Hashem takes away the water. Why? Nobody in the people of Israel cried for her. 40 years she supplies them with water. She is the head Rebbetzin of Israel. Her husband, Kalev ben Yefuneh, Tzaddik Olam. Nobody cries for her. Only 4 people attended her funeral. Moshe, Aharon, and Aharon's 2 sons, Itamar and Elazar.
למה בעצם? למה בעצם? מה קרה פה?
למה?
היא נענשה. חלק מהעונש שלה, שהיא לא נכנסה לארץ הקודש, כי היא דיברה לשון הרע על משה. She spoke ill of Moshe. Right?
Why no one came?
Nobody, because the people of Israel were upset that everybody's dying. Now they're basically all gonna die, right? From the sin of the spies, nobody coming to the land of Israel. And they had a lot of machloket with Moshe, right? Korah, everything, they all fight over water. By the way, why all the fights were over water? The first machloket in the world was between 2 waters on Monday, between the water below and the water above. Just so you know, Hashem separated mafrid ben mayim el mayim. Nachon, המבדיל בין מים למים. What shamayim? The word shamayim? Sham mayim. There is water in heaven, above us.
Yeah.
There is actually more water. You know, the world has 72% water and 28% earth, right? Dr. Joe will tell you every cell has 72% liquid, 28% matter. Every cell in our body,
75, yeah.
right?
Wow.
It's exactly. בראשית ברא אלוהים את השמיים ואת הארץ, right? The neshama and then the earth. The earth has 72 is the letters of Hashem, 28 is the word koach, strength, right? When Hashem says Shaddai, it was said to the water die. The water will never, there's no such thing as global warming in it. The water will never increase 72%. There's no such thing. Okay? It's just a ploy by certain groups, I don't want to say who they are, to steal more money. No such thing. God's promise. Shaddai. That's it. All right. So Miriam dies, and Hashem takes away the water. The people wanted to kill Moshe and Aaron. Imagine 3 days, no water. How long can you go without water?
Yes.
Try to go 1 day without water.
Was
Huh?
Caleb already dead?
No, Caleb was still. No, Caleb went to the land of Israel. He was the only one. He and
So
Joshua.
why wasn't he at the funeral?
So they said that he was actually fighting the people, protecting Moshe and Aaron.
Wow.
Because they were in the Shiva. This happened when the Shiva of Miriam. After 3 days,
Wow.
they come, say, how can you sit Shiva? We're dying here, we have no water. Hashem says to Moshe and Aaron, go speak to the people. Teach Torah, and I'll give you water again from the well of Miriam. Right? Hashem says to Moshe and Aaron, you too speak. Dabru el asela, dabru el bnei Israel. Speak, teach Torah, and I will take water out. Moshe hit the rock twice. Right? And he says to the people, do you think I'm going to take money and water from you here? Me. He didn't say Hashem. That's one of his punishments. Hashem punished Moshe and Aaron not to come to the land of Israel. That was one of it. He has 6 sins. This is one of them. Aaron did not stood. Hashem says, I made you equal. El Moshe el Aaron. He should have stood up and said, Moshe. Hashem says, speak, not hit the rock. Even Moshe made a mistake. The Gemara says he was so upset because being in a Shiva that he says he just hit it. Now, Aaron will die too. Aaron will die and be buried in HaVat. You know, HaVat is 2 mountains because Aaron has 2 crowns. The crown of a Kohen Gadol, and he was the man of peace, right? Aaron,
Yes.
when he died, there was 80,000 children named Aaron going behind him. When Hashem says to Moshe, take Aaron to HaVat, he's going to die there. Moshe on his right, his son Elazar on the left. Elazar will assume the kahuna, right? And when they were going, 80,000 children named Aaron following them. Aaron was a man of peace. He made many couples go back together, and because he did such love, he was Ish Shalom, they named their children Aaron to thank him.
Wow. He even lied for it.
Huh?
Right. He lied.
Yes. He would come, let's say you and I fight, he would come to us and says, oh, Yoram loves you, he's so sorry, he feels so bad, right? Then he goes to Orah, I said the same thing. Orah, I want you to know, you come to me, Orah loves you, she's so sorry, she doesn't know what to do, how to ask forgiveness. By the time you meet each other, you show forgiveness, that you don't fight it, you forgot what you're fighting about.
Wow, that's beautiful.
That's Aharon. Aharon dies on Aleph Be'av, and he was buried in HaVat. We don't know where it is, but it's actually right above in the Jordan Mountains. You know, if you stand in Jericho,
Beautiful.
this is called Arvot Jericho. That's the land of Israel. And Arvot Moav is Jordan. But there's the mountain, if you look from Jericho to the mountain, that's where Miriam, Aaron, and Moshe buried.
Oh.
But
Moshe
we
is
don't
buried
know
between 2 mountains, huh?
We don't know.
We don't know where it is. You know, Hashem says to Moshe, speak, daber el achicha Aaron. Speak to your brother Aaron. Well, Moshe doesn't know that he's his brother. They live together.
Just to make sure.
No. He says, daber el Aaron. What's achicha?
Ah.
Why achicha, your brother? Achicha in Gematria 39. Hashem says to Moshe in the beginning, 39 years from now, Aaron will pass. Tell him.
Oh.
And then you'll pass.
Interesting.
So Be'ezat Hashem,
But also, Abraham,
yes?
Hashem told Abraham, take your son, Yitzchak.
Your
No,
only
first he
son.
says, take your son. He said, which one? I have two. Right?
Asher ahavta.
Asher ahavta. He says, I love them both. Et yachidcha, the one you really love.
Oh.
Rabbi Kahana Zichrono Livracha, he says, take Ishmael and slaughter him. What are you arguing? All right, so
You know who is
Be'ezat Hashem,
Kahana?
we're going to finish.
Doctor, you know who is Kahana?
Of course he knows.
Ah.
By the way, I'll finish with one thing. It says here on page 848, chapter 21, first verse, Vayishma Knaani melech Arad yoshev negev ki ba Israel derech ha'atarim. Who is that? Is actually the Amalekite dressed up like the Arabs. That's where the mitzvah to dress up in Purim come from here.
Ah,
They were pretending to be Canaanites. They were not Canaanites. They was Amalekite.
interesting.
Come through the Atarim. This is the internet, you know? Atar, bechol atar ve'atar.
Yeah,
right?
Atar.
What's Atar in Hebrew? It's a website.
What's,
They say Amalek in the future will come to the website and he'll take a hostage through website. Jews that left that will believe them.
Wow.
This is here. And he took Shevi. The Torah says he took hostage. What Shevi? Is an acronym Shebo Yichta Shaul.
Ah,
Shaul made a mistake with the Amalekite.
He didn't kill him.
He didn't kill him.
yeah.
It's all from here.
Oh,
So Be'ezat Hashem, Parashat
thank you
CHUKAT.
so much.
If you don't understand something, you get your money back. If you do understand, please tell a friend. It will be posted on our website. Again, thank you all for being
Thank
here.
you so much.
It's such an honor and a pleasure.
God,
We
now
want you
you're
to tell
going
us
back.
about yourself.
Baruch Tiyeh.
How-
Be'ezat
how
Hashem.
Now you will go back.
Yes, Be'ezat Hashem.
If you want to sleep at my house,
Oh,
you can.
you're so cute.
The house is empty.
God bless you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
But Dr. Joe already invited us, so.
I'm still not in your house that you have?
No, we were all good. I'm just kidding. Thank you so much. God bless you all.
So what's happening with you? How frequently are
One
you gonna
second,
come
one
down
second,
here?
if you don't mind.
You left us, we feel, you know.
Yes.
Abandoned.
When you coming again?